Hey folks, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to go over a couple of really good options for headlamps and kind of go over the differences and the similarities between the OLIGHT PERUN 2, which is very popular. I'm a huge OLIGHT fan. And what I actually pick and use the most, which is this Fenix HM50R. This video is not sponsored. I bought both of these lights myself, but hopefully when this video is over, you'll be able to tell the differences between both and what might be a better option for you. All right, guys, so here is the Fenix HM50R 2.0. This is the PERUN Mini 2. I'm gonna go ahead and get them out of the headbands. So you can see that these are basically the exact same size. They're the same height. We have essentially the same circumference. I don't have a scale, but I can tell you that they're about the same weight. There might be a few grams difference between the two, but not enough for the average normal human being to notice. They both have pocket clips. However, the Fenix only has a one direction pocket clip, whereas the PERUN 2 has that double pocket clip to where you can put on a brim of a hat or on your pocket. It is deep carry. The Fenix is not so much of a deep carry. There is a little bit of a space here that's going to stick out of your pocket. So the PERUN 2 will carry a little deeper. And as far as batteries go, the Fenix 2 uses a standard 16340 battery that you can pick up pretty much off the shelf anywhere. This comes with a 700 milliamp hour 16340. And again, I like the fact that it's just a standard, regular, everyday battery that you can find on Amazon. OLIGHT, and if you're familiar with OLIGHT, you know that every single one of their lights actually uses a proprietary custom OLIGHT battery that you have to get through OLIGHT. So this is a 650 milliamp hour 16340 battery that, again, is custom. You can't go off the shelf and buy these. You have to get them from OLIGHT. So that is one of the downfalls of OLIGHT, is that, you know, they use their own custom batteries. But if you're in the OLIGHT world, you already know that and you're used to it. Okay, and as far as charging these things go, they're really quite different. The OLIGHT, like 99.9% of OLIGHT flashlights, come with this MCCA magnetic charging base. So it's got a USB-A port to a magnetic port, and it just attaches to the base of this light and it starts charging. A lot of people don't like it. A lot of people love it. If you're, again, in the OLIGHT world, you probably have quite a few of these laying around. But in the event that you don't have this with you, you can't charge this light. The Fenix over here actually uses a standard USB Type-C charging port. So I'm going to go ahead and bet that most of us have a Type-C charging cord laying around that this Fenix will charge with. You don't have to worry about keeping up with a proprietary charging cord. Now, both of these are cool white. Fenix only offers one temperature of light output, and that is basically a cool white. OLIGHT offers a cool white setting and a neutral white setting. So you have two different options depending on the depending on the color temperature that you prefer. So a lot of people like natural light because it is a little bit more accurate to true colors at nighttime than cool white. So here is the natural white on the OLIGHT PERUN 2. Here is the cool white on the Fenix. So there is a bit of a difference. And some people prefer one or the other. I do like the natural light. It does not appear to be as bright, even though it's the same lumen output. Just it being a warmer temperature does not seem to be quite as bright as the cool white. Now let's talk about user interfaces for both of these lights. The OLIGHT has got 5 modes, 5 white light modes, and 2 red LED modes. The Fenix has got 4 white light modes and 2 red LED modes. So you get one more setting on white lights with the PERUN 2 over here. But let's go through those real quick. So to turn on the PERUN 2, press and hold, and that's going to throw you into the moonlight setting. And this is going to be 2 lumens, and you're going to get 10 days of runtime off a full battery on that. If you press and hold, that's going to get you to 15 lumens or 26 hours. Press and hold again, that's going to get you to 60 lumens or 7 hours of runtime. Press and hold again, that's going to be 250 lumens for 100 minutes. And if you double click, that's going to throw you into turbo mode. This is 1100 lumens with a 165 yard throw or 5,950 candela. So this is a very bright setting for this. You're going to get 2 minutes of runtime at the 1100 watts. Then it's going to step down to 250 lumens for another 85 minutes, again off of a full charge. And to get to the red LED on this, you're going to double click the top, and this is going to be 40 lumens for 150 minutes. To me, honestly, this is too bright for red LED. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but it kind of throws a weird shadow. It honestly almost looks like an O. I don't know if OLIGHT did that on purpose, but it's kind of weird feeling when you're walking around at night, because you can see these little O's, as best I can call it. And again, 40 lumens. That's pretty bright. And when it's in solid, you can press and hold the button again, and that's going to throw you into the SOS mode. There is no runtime rating from OLIGHT on how long this will last, or even the lumen output. But I don't know. I've never used the SOS mode, and I probably never will. But again, I just think that 40 lumens for this red LED is just a bit too bright, in my opinion. I would prefer it to be a little less output, just a little bit easier on the eyes and not quite as red when you're using this thing at night. The user interface for the Fenix is just a little bit different than the Perun 2. So to get it to the white light settings, you're going to press and hold, and that's going to bring you to the first setting. This is 30 lumens. This is as low as this light gets. So that is a little bit different than the Perun 2, where if you press and hold, you get a 2 lumen setting. So this is really, the 2 lumen setting is really, I like it a lot for being in a tent or in the RV when it's, you know, middle of the night, you don't want to wake anyone up. 2 lumens is perfect. 30 lumens is pretty bright. So if you press and click once, you're going to get to 130 lumens, and this is going to give you 8 hours of runtime off of this setting. Click one more time, you're going to get to 400 lumens, and you're going to get 3 hours worth of runtime off of this setting. And then the last setting is going to be the turbo setting, or what they're calling it, and this is going to be 700 lumens. You're going to get 125 yard throw off of this at 3,350 candela for 1 hour. So 1 hour is pretty stout for 700 lumens off of a battery or off of a flashlight this size. So there's the white light settings, and to cut it off, you just press and hold. To get to the red settings on this, you're going to double click. And this is where I think this Fenix outshines the Perun 2, because this red setting right here is only 5 lumens, and you're going to get 60 hours of runtime. And I like this red output way more than I like it on the Perun 2. So you can see here, here's the Perun 2. It is much brighter than the Fenix. And you can see that kind of weird shadowy effect that this Perun 2 puts on the red LED, where this is just a nice, solid, easy to look at red LED light. I just prefer it a lot more. Again, the Perun 2 is much brighter. Now you do have one more setting on this, press and click, and it's going to give you just a standard flashing red LED, again at 5 lumens, and you're going to get 120 hours off of this setting. So when it comes to the red LED, which I use the most at night when I'm out camping, I much prefer the Fenix at the 5 lumen. I think it's just an easier output on the eyes. It's not, you know, crazy bright. It doesn't light up everything red, but what you're looking at is red, and you don't have that weird O kind of shadowy effect that the Perun 2 offers. So I find myself using this headlamp more often, specifically because of this 5 lumen LED setting. So now let's take these outside, and I'm going to show you at night what the beams look like, and just quickly put up on screen how many lumens each one is putting off. All right, so up first is the Perun 2 Mini on moonlight mode at 2 lumens. And this is really even hard to make out, but it's just barely enough to see what you need to see. I'm going to one up it to 15 lumens. And it's still barely coming through on camera. But this again is 15 lumens. We got 60 lumens. $250 lumens. And now turbo at 1100 lumens. And here is that 40 lumen red light mode. You can kind of see the weird shadows that I keep talking about, that it's kind of annoying to me. But you can see just how much red light this puts out. A lot of red light. Okay, so next up is the Fenix HM50R. This is the first setting of 30 lumens. One up at 130 lumens. .400 lumens. Starting to get those trees back there. And now 700 lumens. Okay, now the 5 lumens for this Fenix. So it's a much, much dimmer red light, but I like the light that it casts a lot more, even though it's not nearly as bright, but it's plenty for what I need when I'm in a tent or just trying to see something up close to me. Not necessarily for walking in a dark woods, but I do prefer this red light over the Perun 2. All right, there's a nighttime footage. So as you can tell, they are both fantastic lights. They're both gonna give you enough light for anything that you're possibly gonna need. The OLIGHT Perun 2 is obviously a little bit brighter. You're gonna get a little bit further throw off of this thing at around 165 yards on the turbo setting. You get 2 minutes on the turbo setting on this. You get almost 1 hour at 700 lumens off this. So it is a give and take. You gotta pick your poison and determine which is more important for you. But as far as the actual head straps go, this is the OLIGHT strap, and these are compatible with the clip installed on the light, and it's just got a little recessed channel here that the clip's gonna fit in, so that just sits there, and you put this rubber strap over, and this headlamp is now affixed to the strap. So it's just a pretty compact, pretty lightweight little head strap. And here is the Fenix head strap. So it fits into this portion a little bit different, so you take the clip and it slides underneath this plastic piece, and that's what holds it in. And you can still rotate it. But I will say, I prefer the Fenix strap, and it's all because of this little bead of I guess, some type of silicone. So this is a really kind of sticky, tacky little strip that's on the inside that you can hopefully see here with the glare, but it really helps stick to your forehead, and it doesn't slide up or down, and I'm not constantly having to push it up or readjust. Because once you get it on your hat or on your forehead, this little sticky silicone strip really helps keep this thing in place. So I don't know if that helped at all, because they're both really, really good lights in my opinion. I do use both. However, I find that I typically grab the Fenix more often than I grab the Perun 2. If I just want a handheld light, and this is another Perun 2 that I have, I'd like the Perun 2 more as a handheld light, or using the clip on my back strap, shoulder strap, or my pocket, and just using this light as more of a handheld type light as opposed to a headlamp, because really all has to do with this really bright red LED. I just think it's too bright, and it's kind of annoying at night when you're trying to be a little less obvious when you're walking around in the dark. It's just pretty bright. 40 lumens is actually pretty bright for a red LED, in my opinion only. And another cool thing about the Perun 2 is the fact that it does use this OLIGHT proprietary magnetic charger. It means that the tail cap is actually magnetic. So anything that's metal around you that can hold a magnet, so you can put this light really in any orientation, if you're around any metal objects, stairs, a table, side of your trailer, under your car hood. It's really nice having that magnet on the bottom of this light, because it really does kind of expand where you can put this light hands-free and not just on your head. So if the Fenix 2 had a magnetic tail base, that would be awesome. That would be icing on the cake for that. So the Perun 2 one-ups the Fenix with the magnetic option to really be able to put this thing in a lot more places hands-free. So they're really both good lights. They're both really close to the same price. I think the Fenix is $60.99. The Perun 2 is $64.99. Of course, there's gonna be sales, and that pricing's of course gonna fluctuate a little bit, but I'm gonna call these around the same price, around the same weight, a little bit different lumen output. So it just kind of pick your poison to see which one you like the most. But in my opinion, if I need a headlamp, I am going to grab the Fenix way more often than I'm gonna grab the Perun 2. If I want a handheld light or something to put on the tabletop at night at the picnic table while I'm trying to eat, this is perfect, because you can set it on the table and it shoots light toward your food. You don't have to use a headlamp. There's just a lot of options for these little 90-degree lights. So that's really the main differences and similarities between these two. Both good lights. Hope that helped. So if you have any questions or comments or updates or whatever you want to talk about, send me a comment on this video and I will get back to you. But until next time, folks, see you soon. Take care.